As you guys know, like Microsoft launched Copilot Pro in early 2024 as an AI chatbot and also for its Microsoft 365 apps for $20 per month. And we also know that for $20 per month, you can go ahead and get access to ChatGPT Plus as well and get tons of features, which is a hot AI tool already present in the market. So in this video, we're going to compare both of these amazing AI tools, ChatGPT Plus and Microsoft Copilot Pro, by categorizing them into different sections such as text generation, coding assistance, image generation, language translation, and data analysis as well. So after this amazing exploration of this comparison, you'll be able to decide which tool is worth your money and which tool you should invest that $20 and get the most out of it. All right, so without further ado, let's just jump right into it and compare both of these amazing AI tools. All right. Alright, so for the first use case, we're going to go ahead and test out text generation in both of these AI tools, alright? And in text generation, first of all, we're going to go ahead and see which tool does the best in creative writing, okay? So first of all, for my first prompt, I'm just going to go ahead and type this prompt in both of my tools. So we have write a short story set in a world where the laws of physics are reversed, but from the perspective of a cat. So this is a very unique kind of prompt. So let's just go ahead and hit enter in both of the AI tools and check out the responses. All right, so right off the bat, you can see ChatGPT has started generating the response for that, and also does the Copilot Pro. So let's just go ahead and check like which one is going to do it faster. All right, so Copilot Pro is already done, you guys, and ChatGPT is still processing the information. So yeah, let's just go ahead and see what output the Copilot Pro has provided us. So it's saying, in a universe where gravity pushes away the light and light darkens, I, Whiskers the cat, found myself clinging to a ceilings of my humans upside down. Aboard, the world was a curious place where fish swam through the air and birds bored into the air. All right, so right off the bat, it's quite impressive, right? So Copilot Pro is nailing for now when it comes to text generation and creative writing. So let's just go ahead and see the ChatGPT response. So ChatGPT has provided quite a bit extensive responses. You guys can see it's saying in a peculiar corner of the universe with the laws of physical dance to a different tune, there lived a cat named Whiskers. In Whiskers' world, gravity didn't pull things down and push them up. So yeah, I think the main idea is quite similar in both of these AI tools, right? Because obviously both are using GPT-4. The responses are the same only if we talk about the length and the details. So I think ChatGPT did a pretty good job in that, right? So yeah, now let's just go ahead and see one more prompt. Compose type of a poem and see which one does it better, okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and type in my prompt here. Compose a poem about a lost civilization integrating elements of futuristic technology and ancient mythology. And same goes for in Copilot Pro as well. Let's just go ahead and see the responses for both of that. All right, so Copilot Pro is already done. So if you talk about the speed, so I think Copilot Pro absolutely nails it in speed with ChatGPT. So yeah, and just like that, it basically provided the whole poem in the particular font of the poem as well, which is really, really cool. Whereas ChatGPT is only working on the length, is basically doing it very extensive and very long poem. But if you talk about the efficiency and the beauty, so I think Copilot Pro does a pretty good job. Check this out. Beneath the silver canopy of stars, where once thrived, street now silent bard, lies civilization both ancient and wise, whose tales are whispered as the old were sighs. So it's very good. Okay, if you see the ChatGPT one, so in shadows deep and time host lands, a city tribe broad grand and vast, where gleaming spires and silver strands, it twined with tales from the past. So yeah, I think that's not bad as well. But I think what I liked is the Copilot Pro more, right? Because, you know, it's very concise, to the point, and a very beautiful poem, okay? All right, so now let's just go ahead and check out the next section in our text generation category, which is professional writing. So now we're just gonna go ahead and see like which tool does the best in like kind of emails and project proposals or something like that. So for the first prompt, I'm gonna say in both of my AI tools, like draft an email to a potential investor explaining a revolutionary new technology, but use the tone of a 19th century industrialist. So that is really unique and really amazing. So I'm just going to go ahead and checking out the potential of both of these tools, because as we guys know, like these kind of things, these tools can do very easily, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and try to give them a little bit more of a complex task, okay, just to test out their efficiencies. I'm just going to go ahead and send this message to both of them. All right, so ChatGPT has started working on that, whereas Copilot Pro is responding. All right, so it has worked on that as well. So let's just see which one will do it faster. All right, so here we go. So Copilot Pro is done. So let's just go ahead and read. So, esteemed sir or madam, I hope this letter finds you in a robust health and soaring spirits. I'm writing to acquaint you with an invention of unparalleled ingenuity, one that promises to revolutionize the very fabric of our modern industry. Imagine, if you will, a device so advanced it harnesses the power of the heavens themselves, this marvel. So this looks really interesting, keeping in mind the 19th century industrialist, right? So yeah, I think this email looks good. But if we go ahead and check out the ChatGPT one. So I think when it comes to email, ChatGPT does a pretty good job. It basically kept the structure of how you should write an email. First of all, we have subject. Then we have esteemed sir or madam, which was same in both of the tools. Then we have all this letter finds with the finance of health and spirits. So I think that's more like of, 19th century industrialist vibe. So I think ChatGPT does it really well. And if you talk about the structure, so we have a whole lost paragraph for different purpose. And then we have the final email structure as well, your name, position, your contact information. So I think in email writing, ChatGPT did a good job, okay? So let's just go ahead and try another prompt of project proposal writing. So for that, I'm just going to type in the prompt like, create a project proposal for an eco-friendly urban development incorporating specific elements like green roofs and smart traffic systems. Okay, let's just see the response for both of this now. All right, so Copilot Pro is done until now, as you guys can see. So we have project proposal, eco-friendly urban development, executive summary is going to be this. Then we have project objectives, going to be this. Then we have key features, green rules, smart traffic systems, additional sustainable elements, implementation plan, budget overview, conclusions. So this looks quite promising if you talk about the project proposal. So let's just go ahead and test ChatGPT. So ChatGPT absolutely nailed it, right? So we have introduction, project overview. We have the name, location, total area, project duration. Key features are going to be this. Then we have project goals, that is talking about a budget and funding, then the conclusion. So I think ChatGPT did a pretty handsome job in writing a project proposal, and it basically absolutely nailed the Copilot Pro very easily, all right? All right, so now let's talk about the last section of our educational content, okay? So let's just say how these tools can help us in education and which one does it better. So I'm just going to go ahead and type in my prompt like, explain quantum mechanics to a 10-year-old using a story about time-traveling dinosaurs. So this is a really, really unique prompt. So I'm testing out the efficiency of how these AI tools perform in these kind of... So I'm basically entirely changing the style for a 10-year-old. Okay, so let's just go ahead and test which one will do it better, because I know ChatGPT absolutely nails it. So I'm wondering to see how Copilot Pro will do that. All right, so the Copilot Pro is done. Wow, that is amazing. Copilot Pro is really fast in creative writing. So it says, once upon a time in a land where time had no master, lived a curious little dinosaur named Corky. Corky was no ordinary dinosaur. He had a secret power that allowed him to jump through time. One day, Corky decided to embark on an adventure. This is very interesting tale in whoosh. And then we have basically provided the emojis as well, which is really beautiful, right? So yeah, I think for educational content, Copilot Pro is really, really efficient as well. But ChatGPT, he's still writing everything and is quite a bit slow with the GPT-4. So I think for the educational content, Copilot Pro is really efficient. And if you talk about the whole as a text generation, so I think Copilot Pro takes the lead very easily, okay? All right, so for our next category, we're going to go ahead and test out language translation and localization in our ChatGPT Plus and Copilot Pro, all right? So first of all, we're going to see some creative translation in both of our AI tools. So I'm going to write in my prompt in ChatGPT and Copilot Pro that translate a short folk tale from Spanish to English, but adapt it to have a culture context relevant to a Japanese audience. So this is kind of a very complex prompt, right? So yeah, we're going to go ahead and test out the efficiencies of both of these AI tools, like how well they're going to perform, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and send message to both of them and see what response will I get out of that. All right, so Copilot Pro right away is working on that as well as ChatGPT. But ChatGPT has asked me one more question. I'll first translate the folk tale from Spanish to English and adapt to a culture. Would you please provide the Spanish folk tale you have in mind? So I'm just going to go ahead and say, generate some random by your own. Okay, so let's just see what ChatGPT is going to provide me. And now if you see Copilot, so Copilot has straight away generated the short fork tail from Spanish to English, and also adapted it into a Japanese audience. So it is really, really efficient. If you talk about Copilot Pro, it's taking a really good use of the new GPT-4, right? But ChatGPT is somehow, it basically takes some hiccups if you talk about, some creative translation. All right. So now if you take a look at the response, so the response is quite efficient in our ChatGPT, and it is translated and adapted for a Japanese audience, which you can see right over here. So yeah, I think both of the tools did really well. But if we talk about the ease and the efficiency, so Copilot Pro really takes a lead in that as well, okay? All right, so for our next section in the category of language translation and localization, we're going to test out some business localization, all right? So for that, I'm going to write in my prompt in both of that, localize a marketing campaign for a tech product from English to Arabic, considering culture sensitivities and local market trends. I'm just going to go ahead and do that in Copilot Pro as well. And now let's just go ahead and test both of these out, okay? All right, so now if we take a look at the ChatGPT response, so it has basically provided very good points and the headings for our localizing our marketing campaign. And if you talk about Copilot Pro, it did it really well as well. And not only that, it also provides you the links for that as well. So you can go ahead and check out the links related to your prompt. So that is a really cool feature in Copilot Pro if you talk about that. All right, so both of the AI tools gave us very accurate response, but ChatGPT somehow is still generating. So it's quite a bit slow in this kind of responses. But Copilot Pro, it takes a lead if you talk about, creative writing, language translation, and these kind of purposes, all right? All right, so for our next category, we're going to see some of the data analysis and visualization in both of our AI tools. And for that, first of all, I'm just going to go ahead and write in my prompt that analyze a data set of global climate change patterns over the last century and summarize key trends in a layperson's term, all right? Let's just go ahead and see the output for both of our AI tools for that. All right, so just like that, take a look at this. Copilot Pro nails in data analysis as well if you talk about that. So it provides us the links. So if you can go ahead and click this, and now you can go ahead and jump right into the website, like the blogs according to your prompt. So it was a data set of global climate change. So just like that, it's really accurate and really to the point if you talk about data analysis as well, all right? And just like that, it basically also provides you the images related to that prompt, which is really, really cool in Copilot Pro. But in ChatGPT, the same, the response is very blend, it's in the points, but we don't have any references or any website links. So yeah, I think in that, Copilot Pro again takes a lead very, very easily, all right? All right, so now let's just go ahead and jump into more of a complex task and do some coding assistant techniques, okay? So first of all, we're going to go ahead and test our software development in our coding assistants. And I'm going to write in my prompt in both of my AI tools that generate a script that simulates a virtual marketplace where users can barter items using a fictional currency, ensuring the code includes unique user interactions. Okay, let's just go ahead and test out like whether it will generate the perfect code for us or not. Okay, so straight away, the Copilot Pro, without wasting any time, is creating a Python script for us as well as ChatGPT 2. Okay, so it's creating the Python script that simulates a virtual marketplace where users can barter items using a fictional currency. So let's just go ahead and check out our final response of these AI tools. All right, so Copilot Pro is all done. And if I can go ahead, copy this Python script, go to my Visual Studio Code and test this out. All right, so now we have a perfect script that simulates a virtual marketplace. We have the classes, we have the functions and everything. So if I can go ahead and try to run this and see whether it's error-free or not. So I'm going to go ahead and run this Python script. Okay, we have to trust that. All right, so just like that, it has basically created a perfect Python script with no errors whatsoever, as you guys can see, right? So yeah, Copilot Pro really does well in code generation as well, as you guys can see, right? So now let's just go ahead and test out our ChatGPT Python script. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and copy this, try to run this in my Visual Studio Code once again, right? And I'm going to go ahead and run this now. Okay, so the ChatGPT script was successful as well. So just like that, if you want to go ahead and generate some code or you want some coding assistance out of this AI tool, so I think both of the tools do really well in this particular purpose, all right? All right, so now let's just go ahead and test out one more example for our code generation. So now I'm just going to go ahead and type in my prompt like, write a function in Python that can translate Morse code into English and vice versa using advanced algorithms for accuracy. Okay, let's just go ahead and see the output of this prompt now. All right, so here we go, guys. Copilot Pro called. Then meanwhile, the ChatGPT is still generating the Python script. So if I can go ahead and try to copy this. So this is basically the Python script that can translate Morse code into English and vice versa, okay? Let's just go ahead and try to run this first of all of Copilot Pro. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and paste it right over here. Try to run this. All right, and here we go. The Copilot Python script was absolutely perfect. No errors whatsoever. So let's just go ahead and try to run the ChatGPT Python script now. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy this, paste my VS Code and try to run this now. All right, and just like that, the ChatGPT Plus did a really good job as well in the code generation too, okay? All right, and just like that, if you want help in code generation or in coding assistance, so I think the both AI tools do pretty well in this particular purpose, right? So if you are looking forward to coding assistance, so I think you can go ahead and choose any of the AI tools. It will work absolutely fine for your particular purpose, okay? All right, so now last but not least, a very important section of image generation, because as you guys know, like, you know, both of the AI tools use DALL-E 3, right? So now we will see like which tool will perform better in image generation of all the cases. So we'll be generating portraits, human realistic images, landscapes, abstract art. We'll be seeing image generation of each category to see which one will perform better. Okay, so first of all, let's go ahead and jump into portraits. And for that, I'm going to type in my prompt for both of the AI tools like create a digital portrait of a Victorian era inventor who is also a part-time magician, focusing on intricate details like clothing and expression, okay? So if I can go ahead and generate both of these images now, okay? So it's creating image straight away and Copilot Pro is creating that as well. So let's go ahead and see the response. All right, and just like that, take a look at this. Both of these AI tools provided us the perfect images for a digital portrait of a Victorian era inventor. And if you go ahead and take a look at the Copilot Pro one, so it has basically provided us, you know, 4 variations of that right away. But you can go ahead and do that in ChatGPT as well if you type in a prompt like, give me some more variations. But, you know, if you talk about the efficiency and the results, so I think Copilot Pro provided us pretty good images, right? So take a look at these images. These are really wonderful and it's providing us the prompt for that as well. And you can also get that in ChatGPT. That's not a problem. But I think Copilot Pro does a very good use of the GPT-4 and the designer from Microsoft as well. So these images are absolutely perfect from Copilot Pro as well as ChatGPT, okay? All right, so next up, let's just go ahead and test some human realistic images, okay? And for that, I'm going to type in a prompt for in both of the AI tools that generate an image of a futuristic street scene where humans and robots coexist harmoniously, emphasizing the interaction between different characters, okay? And let's just go ahead and see the output for this prompt now. All right, and just like that, both of the responses of our AI tools are done. So if you take a look at the ChatGPT response, so this is a very good image. And if you take a look at the Copilot Pro responses, so these are pretty decent as well. And we have lots of other variations for the images as well. All right, so let's just go ahead and take one more example of realistic human images. And for that, I'm going to type in my prompt in both of my AI tools that a photorealistic image of a chef of Hispanic descent in a bustling restaurant kitchen expertly garnishing a dish with fresh herbs. Okay, let's just go ahead and see the output of this now. All right, so our response, like the image is ready for both of the AI tools. And if you go ahead and take a look at ChatGPT, so the image is really, really good. Very, very realistic if you take a look. And also in Copilot Pro, the contrast is really good and the detail is really well. And it looks very, very realistic. And we have like very cool variations of the images. So Copilot Pro absolutely nails it in human realistic images. It provided all the variations and very close to reality images like without any problem, all right? All right, so in our image generation section, let's just go ahead and test out some landscapes for both of these AI tools, all right? And for that, I'm gonna type in my prompt that illustrate a landscape showing a hidden valley on the alien planet with bioluminescence plants and floating waterfalls. Okay, so let's just see the output of this now. All right, and now take a look at the landscapes that both of these AI tools have generated. So for ChatGPT, the landscape is really, really well generated. You can see we have a landscape showing a hidden valley on an alien planet with bioluminescent plants and floating waterfalls. So if you take a variation, so these variations are absolutely perfect. And just like that, ChatGPT also provided very good realistic landscape, okay? All right, so for our next section, let's just go ahead and create some anime out of these both AI tools and see which one will perform better, okay? So for character design anime, I'm just going to go ahead and type in my prompt like, design an anime character who is a robot chef in a futuristic city, blending traditional Japanese attire and with modern robotic elements. So let's just see the output of this now. All right, so our anime generation is done in Copilot Pro, and if you go ahead and take a close look at these images, all right, so these are absolutely perfect, just the way we wanted. So we have a robot chef in a futuristic city blending traditional Japanese attire. So we have Japanese attire, we have futuristic city, and we have a robotic chef, which is absolutely perfect. And just like that, ChatGPT also provided very cool image for that as well, as you guys can see, right? All right, so for our last example in image generation, let's just go ahead and see how it will perform in some abstract art, okay? And for that, I'm going to type in my prompt that design an abstract image that conveys the concept of time melting away using a blend of surrealistic and modern art techniques. Okay, let's just see the output of this now. All right, and just like that, our Copilot Pro is done. So I'm literally very amazed by the speed of Copilot Pro in image generation. So you can see we have an abstract image that conveys the concept of time melting away using a blend of surrealistic and modern art design. So as you guys can see, these images are absolutely perfect, right? And yeah, also ChatGPT Plus, this image doesn't look that good, but the abstract art is really well defined and it's really, really good. But if you talk about Copilot Pro, it absolutely nailed it in the abstract art, okay? All right, and just like that, if you want to go ahead and create images, so I suggest to use a Copilot Pro because first, it provides you a good amount of variations right away. And also, it is really, really fast in image generation, okay? All right, so now if you talk about some of the miscellaneous features of both of these AI tools, so as you guys can see with ChatGPT Plus now, you can go ahead and access whole amount of plugins. So we have a whole store for the plugins. So we have AI diagrams, AI PDS, so you can go ahead and access hundreds and thousands of plugins in ChatGPT Plus and get the most out of it. But if you can go ahead and look that in Copilot Pro, so we have very limited plugins for now. We only have 5, but it will keep on adding by time to time. But if you are looking forward to plugins, ChatGPT is a must use for you, okay? And also with ChatGPT now, you can go ahead and use GPTs as well, which is a really, really cool feature of ChatGPT Plus, and it's a really go-to feature for that people pay. So with that, you can go ahead and access up to hundreds and thousands of GPTs now, which will do your work customly according to your purpose, okay? And that feature, obviously, you can now see in Copilot Pro, all right? All right, and here you go, guys. This was the whole exploration, the whole comparison between one of the most high-rated AI tools, Copilot Pro and ChatGPT Plus. So I hope you guys liked it, and I hope it helped you really to decide which one is a good tool for you to use and which one you should invest in for your particular purpose. So yeah, I hope you like this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.